Let's go to Canberra now and catch up with the former Deputy Prime Minister and former Nationals leader, Michael McCormack. Good to talk to you, Michael. First up, on China,
G'day, Chris.
Who's right on the China relationship, Twiggy Forrest or Scott Morrison?
Scott Morrison, every day of every week.
Does it worry you that Twiggy Forrest is such a prominent businessman?
I can't put it any more plainly.
No, you can't, and I would agree with you. But does it worry you that Twiggy Forrest makes such a gushing attempt to smooth over any wrinkles in the relationship with China, or is that just what we're to expect from a mining magnate?
Well, he's doing it to stuff his own money bags. Let's face it, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So, Twiggy's doing it to protect his own interests, to protect Fortescue. I can sort of understand that, but it's got to be Team Australia. It's got to be Australia first. And whilst I appreciate China as our largest trading partner, and we need to do what we need to do as far as making sure our agricultural and mining exports are strong, there's no need to kowtow. There's no need to kowtow, and Scott Morrison absolutely nailed it today.
Now, when it comes to the Albanese government and their troubles with the US, surely opening up, making it easier for Chinese beef imports, something that the President himself has spoken about publicly, it's obviously got under his skin. Is this a promising move that suggests that the US might want to talk turkey with us when it comes to these tariff and trade disputes?
The timing is interesting, Chris. I'm not quite sure we need American beef here, particularly American beef that has been processed in Canada or indeed Mexico. I spoke to former Senator Bill Heffernan today, who reminded me of the time not that long ago that they were burying beef from Brazil for fear of mad cow disease, brucellosis, and that wasn't that long ago. We don't need to have our biosecurity measures placed at any risk, because we do that and we place our farmers at risk. The traceability, as Bill reminded me, that's an interesting prospect when it comes to importing beef from the Americas, and it's not anywhere near up to the standard of our traceability, and this is a great concern. Of course, Bill is a long-time farmer, long-time friend of this place.
Sure. We understand those concerns, but surely Biosecurity Australia, we've got to trust the government institutions that oversees these considerations. So you're not questioning the fact that they would have signed off on this?
Well may they have, but the Minister was quick to say it was a departmental decision. But ministers can always say no. They don't have to just tick and flick everything that comes into their intro. And I have a horrible suspicion that that's what Labor ministers do. And ministers have to run the departments, not the other way around. I have a horrible suspicion that Julie Collins maybe hasn't quite looked at this as diligently as she may well have. There hasn't been any consultation. The first we heard of it today was just plonked out into the media. And we have to protect our farmers. They're under pressure like never before with the unrealised capital gains, the superannuation situation, whereas if their farmers tied up with their superannuation, their succession planning has all gone awry. We have to protect our farmers because of the rollout of the renewable targets, the wind towers going amok in regional Australia. We have to protect them because they're having their water taken away from them due to the Murray-Darling Basin and supposed environmental gains. Farmers are under pressure like never before. They're paying higher for their energy, and here we have a biosecurity risk. And let's call it what it is. It is a biosecurity risk. Now, I've got every faith in our Biosecurity Australia, I do. But are they properly resourced? I know the Nationals leader, David Littleproud, has called for an independent review of this today, and he's right to do that.
I just think that Albanese should have been up front of this. As soon as Trump mentioned this trade, Albanese should have said, well, this is a biosecurity issue. We'll look at it for you. We'll re-examine it and get the experts to see if we can relax the rules a bit, rather than this. He said nothing about it at the time virtually, just dismissed it, just said this is the rules and they'll stay in place. And now suddenly I think they've had to think about it behind closed doors and come up with this. But as you say, let's hope that everything when it comes to the biosecurity risk is ticked off. Yeah, you've got to be upfront about this.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to net zero. You and Barnaby Joyce have been making waves. You've been making very cogent arguments against net zero. There's a lot of international movement in this direction as well. Has David Littleproud spoken to you? What sort of feedback have you got back from him?
No, I've not spoken to David, but I'm sticking up for the people of Bowning and Bynalong and Gregadoo and Maxwell and Mangapla and Crookwell and Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know
other areas.
You've been everywhere, man. You've been everywhere. I've heard that. And some of those places I know, some of them I need to still get to. But the point here is that you're a former National Party leader, and so is Barnaby Joyce. You've put up this major policy issue. It's been on the front page of the paper. It's dominated debate the last 48 hours, and your own leader hasn't spoken to you about it. Have you tried to speak to him?
I've been busy enough. I've been busy talking to locals, hearing their concerns, looking them in the eye and seeing the anguish and the despair. They're fraught with concern over this. And, of course, being in Parliament, it does restrict you because there's a lot of things to do, a lot of topics to speak on and of course, addressing the media as I have been this week about this very important topic. But, no, I've not spoken to David. No, I've not. To answer your question, no, I haven't.
It means you're all in the same building at the same time. I find it staggering that you haven't spoken about this, and it probably says something about some of the tensions involved. Let's hope you and Barnaby and David Littleproud and others can get together and talk about it soon. Thanks for joining us, Michael. I appreciate it.